Are pagans evil? That's what we're going to cover in this video. So welcome guys, welcome back. Um, if you're new to my channel, I'm a Rune-Seer. I cover everything about the runes. I guess you could consider that a pagan practice. Um, this topic is, well, I'd say it's controversial, but it seems almost unanimous among most of the other religions. Um, but it is generally controversial, and in a secular society, we have a little bit more reason, I guess. But it is a big topic to cover. So I've got notes on my computer because obviously, as what is considered a pagan, one who is considered a pagan, this is quite an important topic for us. Um, so I'd say, with regards to the question itself, are pagans evil? The first question to ask is, why do people even think pagans are evil? Um, well, historically, pagans have been demonized, right? Um, the name itself, pagan, just means country dweller, right? Um, but when Christianity came to our shore and they brought the Christ God, um, they intentionally went about demonizing the old gods, the festivals, in an effort to push conversions. We had the witch trials. The last witches were hung. There were three of them. I can't remember their names. I should. But they were hung about 5 miles away from where I live in Exeter. Um, we had the burning of sacred groves, suppression of native practices, to the point that it's actually very, very hard to find credible historical records of the old pagan practices. Now, you can put that down to, reading and writing wasn't exactly a thing in the traditional sense, but it it remains so that pretty much everything was destroyed from the past to usher in the Christian God. Um, and the next part to kind of cover, which I see shouted about a lot, is that pagans worship the devil, which is absolutely insane because the devil is a Christian construction. It has nothing to do with paganism. We never had the devil in the pagan belief system. It never existed. Um, Pagans typically will honor the gods, their ancestors. That's where I focus my practice on venerating and honoring and, you know, asking for guidance from my ancestors. But pagans also venerate nature. Um, it's a natural kind of practice focused around nature, and life, I guess, not demons. The demons didn't even exist. We had no concept of demons until Christianity came here. Um, so what does paganism actually teach? It kind of teaches reverence of nature, balance, cycle of the years, working with runes and other forms of practice to connect with our ancestors, um, figure out what our destiny is, what our purpose is, focus on harmony, not exactly destruction. Now, the whole world, if you're going back to times where paganism was widespread and Christianity, even a few hundred years ago, the world was brutal, right? The world has always been a brutal place. No faith system is clean of that brutality. You have the Christian Crusades. Um, there is no anywhere where people have existed, there has always been death and destruction. So to link that directly to a belief system like paganism, which has been different depending on the areas you live in, the gods were slightly different, the traditions were different. It's kind of insane to me. Anyway, right, let me try and. Right, okay, so why do people still think it's evil. Um, you could say fear of the unknown, maybe pop culture, movies, still teachings I see in the other religions. They tend to teach that the other religions have some kind of evil. I mean, I don't even consider paganism as a religion. It's more of a belief structure and a guide and a way to live your life. There's also misrepresentation of paganism. There's always some kind of a link to dark magic, black magic, cults, and cults exist everywhere, right? And that's not specifically linked to paganism. Cults are kind of a strange concept, I guess, for the English. We don't really have a big prevalence of cults here in England. I know you have a serious problem with it in places like Turkey, in America, but in England, I don't know, we're kind of non-cultist. We tend to see the bullshit very, very easily. Mind my language. Um, so let's move on to the next part. Is ethics in paganism, right? So are the ethics of paganism evil? Do they even have a code of ethics? Well, generally, it doesn't matter whether you're a heathen or you're part of the Wiccan revival or an Anglo-Saxon pagan. Generally, the first thing you learn is not to harm people. The Wiccans will say, "An it harm none, do thy will," and generally there's a sense of that throughout every individual paganism offshoot, right? So generally, we hold respect for all beings and we try to harm none through our practice. Now, there are individuals everywhere. So, for example, I wouldn't say Christianity is evil, right? I wouldn't say Islam is evil, but there are evil people, and some of them may be Christians, some of them may be Muslims, Jews, pagans. It's the same everywhere. You'll have the majority of police are really, really good people, but will have individuals there, people that are evil, the same as in courts, the same as in factories, everywhere. So people who are evil exist, and they are everywhere, right? But you can't really narrow it down 100% to a belief structure with regards to um, their religion or even politics. I know at the moment people are shouting that these people are evil in the political sense for believing one thing, and then these are evil on the other side. But the truth is, come on, right? Not all of those people are going to be evil. You're just going to have certain evil, crazy, radical people there. And generally, the evil people go where they feel like they can take advantage of other people, right? So I think blanketing a whole belief structure in the cloak of evil is a little bit misguided, right? And it's not genuine, really. Um, I guess that would be considered the shadow side of the situation. That yes, there will be evil pagans. Yes, there will be evil people that work in shops. There'll be evil Christians. Um, but here's the truth. To sum it up, I guess, paganism isn't about being evil. It's about nature worship, connecting with your ancestors, um, engaging in ritual practice to venerate your ancestors, the spirits, the gods, being at one, in my opinion, with nature and the world and the energies that exist within it. Um, it's not about harming other people. If you're joining some kind of sect or religion or paganism because you want to harm people, you're the problem. You're evil, right? That no none of the structures are there to support you to be evil. Um, so generally, Pagans aren't evil. People are good and evil. And pagans, they're just a part of the belief structures that exist out there. Um, and if you think they're evil, then you should meet some. Go out and meet them. If you believe a certain group of people are evil, then you need to understand them. Um, so just meet some, figure it out for yourself. Pull your head out of the news, the media, the films, especially if they're medieval films. I mean, medieval films are cool, and we like to look back, but generally, you can't transfer swinging an axe into someone's head from 1,000 years ago to modern pagan ethics, really, or Christian ethics when they were swinging swords, and it would be ridiculous to do so. So, in my opinion, are pagans evil? As a Anglo-Saxon Rune-Seer considered a pagan? No, we're not. But if you disagree, that's fine. Put your reasons down in the comments. I'm sure everyone will be interested to hear it. If you found the video interesting, hit a like on the video and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.